So it all seems to be happening again. This first started, in my opinion, with the Xbox Series X, when they said the only way you can play games that are optimized for the Series X is to, like, if you run out of internal storage, is to buy the official expansion card thing that sits in the back and gives you extra storage space. And they were like half the price of the console for like an extra terabyte of storage or something stupid like that. They were very, very expensive. And now all of a sudden Sony are making a new, slimmer PS5. And I received a message, the reason I'm doing this video is because I was talking to a friend about it. Sony went and gave the all-digital version a $50 price bump, so it's more expensive. It's $450. And then if you want to buy the disc drive separate later, it's going to run $80 on its own. And if you want to buy the stand for the PS5, it's going to cost you an extra $30. So that's $560 before tax. But with tax over in America, that's going to be about $620 for a gaming console that's now 3 years old, just because they've redesigned it and made it a little bit smaller. And then I found an article that is actually a blog from PlayStation. I'll leave it linked in the description. And if we start this one, it actually states in the bottom right, vertical stand sold separately. So you can't even stand your console up like on an actual stand and keep it like pretty safe unless you're buying it separately. And the only thing different inside this console is the fact that instead of like an 825 gig SSD, you've got a terabyte of storage. The graphics, the CPU, everything like that is exactly the same. But what they've done is they are going to be charging more money. I think it's £480. So over in the UK, I think that's a £30 price increase just on the console alone. And then it says here, the new PS5 has been reduced in volume by more than 30%, and the weight is down by 18 and 24% compared to the previous models. There are 4 separate cover panels, with the top portion in a glossy look while the bottom remains in matte. If you purchase the digital edition, you can add the Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive for the PS5 later, as it's also going to be sold separately for $80, or over in the UK it's £100. And it's also €120. So that's just for a fucking disc drive, an extra £100 on top of, like, if you buy the digital edition of the console, you got to spend an extra £100 if you eventually decide, oh, I do want to actually run discs. And it says that the new model is going to be available starting in November in the US, and it will continue to roll out globally in the following months. Once inventory of the current model has sold out, the new one will become the only model available. So the retail prices, as I said, like with the disc drive, is £480. The digital edition of the console is £390. In America, your standard with the disc drive is $500, digital edition is $450. And in Europe, you've got the original with the disc drive is €550, and the digital edition of the console is €450. So there's a €100 difference, disc drive and non-disc drive. And then with the horizontal stand, it's going to be included in the new model, but a vertical stand, so it can stand upright, that is compatible with all PS5 models, will be sold separately at $30, €30, or 25 Great British pounds. And it's not going to take long for, like, basically, if you've got a 3D printer, just find out the shape of it and everything and start printing your own ones. And I'm pretty sure there will be companies that will sell these stands really, really cheap eventually. But no, Sony want to go and charge you $30, €30, or £25 for a fucking stand that you can sit your console on. And I know they've done it with previous ones. You had the stands for the PS2 and everything like that back in the day. But we've got a lot more modern technology nowadays and things like that. They should not be charging separately for stands, especially with cost of living crisis and all that sort of stuff. They're basically turning into Apple. They want more and more money for their new products that don't actually really have anything new in them. Besides an extra, after the actual storage space the SSD is going to use to actually be like usable on your console, you're probably going to get an extra 50 gig or something like that. But then there's a variety of PS5 console cover colors for the new model. They will be available starting in early 2024, including an all-matte black colorway and the Deep Earth collection colors in volcanic red, cobalt blue, and sterling silver. Prices for the console covers will start at $55, €55, and £45. Additional colors will be released in the future. And yeah, for the specs, everything is exactly the same as the original console besides the extra 175 gigabytes of SSD storage, and some of that's going to be taken anyway for the SSD to be usable in your console. So Sony are just trying to con everyone out of more money, and the bad thing about it is people are actually going to be stupid enough to go and buy this, and it makes no difference to your gaming experience whatsoever. And even if someone goes, oh yeah, but there's a better chance this is going to run 4K 60, bollocks. It all depends on the developers of a video game, whether they've got native 4K, whether their game runs at 30 or 60 FPS. It's nothing to do with these consoles. Individual companies that create video games decide which resolution you're going to be playing at and which frame rate you're going to be playing at too. Just because they've made a new console, it doesn't mean your games are going to perform any better at all. You are essentially just paying extra money to buy a brand new console that's a little bit slimmer. That's all this is a tiny bit slimmer with a little bit of extra storage space, and they want you to pay the full price all over again. It makes absolutely zero sense to me. Like, why would people be interested in something that's a little bit slimmer? If you've bought a PS5, you're obviously not bothered about its dimensions. I think this is an absolute joke. Sony should not be getting away with this. And honestly, if you're buying one, then why? Like, if there's some secret sort of, I don't even know how to word it. If there's something else that's really pulling you in to buy this new console, then please let me know in the comments. But I think this is a joke. Sony should not be getting away with it. The only thing is it's got a little bit more storage and it's a tiny bit slimmer, and that is your new PS5 model. And on that note, we are going to leave the video there. If you enjoyed it, leaving a like is appreciated. If you wish to support me further as a creator, there are links in the description. Let me know your thoughts about the video in the comments. And if you want to watch more, you can click the video on screen. All support on the channel is greatly appreciated, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.